Well, hello and welcome to the shop. Today is my birthday, and as a gift to myself, and I earned it, I purchased myself a 5/8 inch bowl gouge from Thompson Lathe Tools. It came without a handle. So I have this nice piece of ash here, and what we're going to do is make a handle for my new bowl gouge. Thanks for joining me. Now, I don't have any ash on hand, so I ordered these handle blanks from Craft Supply, and they come as a kit with these little brass ferrules. However, I think I'm going to use this brass collar instead. That's 5/16 there, and it's going to give me just a heavier wall width thickness, and I will take a file and with the lathe spinning turn that down. So first thing I'm going to do is take a measurement here and get the size of this, and then it's going to go from 5/16 to whatever the inside diameter is of this little nut here. So I've established how deep the collar is going to go. My next measurement is going to be the threads, and then I'm going to actually want to make it a slight bit wider so that this threads itself on. Okay, so I have my old face shield. I replaced it recently, but more importantly, it's a piece of scrap plastic. I'm going to use 2-part epoxy. I'm not worried about getting it on there heavy. Because I'm actually going to turn them to and sand away any excess. So now I'm just going to put it back between centers and let the live center cause pressure to hold that while it hardens up. While that's setting, I'm going to put a tenon here so that I can mount this in my 4-jaw chuck so that drilling it is a little bit steadier. Now I am only going to mount this in the truck to drill it, then I'm going to go back to between centers so that I can maximize the length of this handle. I don't want to lose that much of the butt end. This is a 16-inch blank, and if I'd had my druthers, if Craft Supply had offered them, I would have got a 20-inch blank. Well, the epoxy is nearly set, but not quite. But while I've got the piece here, I've got it mounted in the chuck, and I'm going to go ahead and round this out. I'm going to turn the lathe at about 1,000 RPM, and just simply using a little wooden file, or a little metal file. Okay, so that is set. We got the Jacobs chuck in. I'm going to start with a 5/8 Forstner bit, but I'm not going to be able to go as far as I need to. So I've also got a paddle bit so that I can get all the way to 4 inches of depth, because I need to be in a total of 4 inches. We're going to take it fairly easy. Don't want to drill too fast. Want to make sure we pull that out and clear it so it doesn't get too hot in there. So we've started with a Forstner bit. We're going to finish it with the paddle bit. Okay, so I'm going to take it real easy. I've got a mark here that shows me 4 inches of depth. Here we go. Right, before we get back to shaping the handle itself, we'll do a quick test fitting. Make sure that the gouge is going to fit. And that's what it's supposed to do. We'll blow that out, and I'm going to take a nail head, and scribe a little channel in there so that air can get out, because we are going to epoxy that in. So with the epoxy in there, we want air to be able to come back out. But first, we're going to finish it. Okay, like I said before, I took the chuck off because I want as much of this handle length as possible, and I'm going to continue between centers. And what I'm going to do is compare the shape here to this 5/8 inch bowl gouge to my bottom feeder, which is from Hurricane Tools, and this handle is not bad. So I'm going to make it similar. I have a little bit of a different idea for the butt end here, but probably going to be a fairly similar in design. So the fun thing about this is that I can make this my own. So obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but I'm going to get some similar diameters. Again, not exact. This is my bowl gouge, not a generic bowl gouge. So I want a bit of a ball here, but this is still too wide, so I'm going to gradually smooth that down a little. The skew is really the perfect tool to do this because I'm just moving the tiniest amount at a time. I'm going to sand this up to 320, and that's probably a little finer than it needs to be. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a little character. That's pretty nice. I can't complain about that. And we'll very carefully part this end off. Don't want to get too close. I'm going to use my little tenon saw to finish it. These little narrow curved pull saws are fantastic. There we go. Mix up some more two-part epoxy
Down the side.
Put it together in here so that air can get through, so that we don't have too much of a backup and we don't have epoxy come squirting back out at us. This epoxy does have a half-an-hour open time, and it is freezing at night. So in order for this to cure correctly, I'm going to have to take the finished gouge in the house. This epoxy does not like cold. But by morning, I will have a complete Thompson 5/8 inch bowl gouge with a handle I turned myself. And nothing could be a better birthday present than that. Well, maybe some things, but it's a pretty good birthday present. Take a piece of sandpaper and rough that up a little bit, just to help make sure that the epoxy has something to purchase on. And there we have it. My new Thompson Lathe Tools 5/8 inch bowl gouge with a 16-inch ash handle I made myself. I will take this in the house, hit it with some Danish oil, which I'm also keeping in the house because of the cold. And like I said, tomorrow I'll have a complete bowl gouge. Thanks for joining.